Hello, everybody. Welcome to Twanger's Turntable. Yes, it's been a little while. I hope you're all doing well. This finds you well, whatever you happen to be doing, whatever day you happen to see this. Yeah, it's been a little while. So cheers, everybody. We're just quenching our thirst here with a little bit of sugar-free Canada Dry today. So yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to do videos. Not making any excuses, just haven't had time. And to be frank, haven't had a lot of inspiration to do anything outside of showing my new records, and that is fairly time consuming when other things are happening. But I digress. The reason I'm here today is for, as a lot of my good buddies in the vinyl community say, a high-end contest. Not just any old thread or any old showed out to anybody. This is a high-end contest, the real deal, and it's for none other than Emma over at 8 Vinyl Low. I don't know Emma personally. I've seen several of her videos, and I've been inspired by a lot of my good buddies do know Emma, and had the pleasure of meeting Emma over at Mike's summer bash there last year down in Buffalo, the year before in Boston. Although I'm not sure she was present at that one. I don't know. But I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Emma, but I have seen some of her videos. I really dig Emma's channel. You should go check it out. I will leave a link below. But she decided to have a contest. And the reason for that is, unbeknownst to me, and I'm sure many of you, April 1st was officially Cheap Trick Day, and it was declared by the state of Illinois. So she decided to have a contest. Awesome, Emma. Thanks for doing this. I like contests, as most of us do. So I've seen a few of these, and I'm not going to go into a bunch of shout outs because, well, I mean, I do enjoy doing that, and I love my buddies in the VC, but I just want to get right to it. So without further ado, the contest prompts are all around Emma's favorite band, or at least one of her favorite bands, Cheap Trick. I believe it is her favorite band. And so the prompts, I'll read the prompts before I get into it. First one is, I Want You to Want Me, an underrated album. 2 is In Color, a visually striking record album. 3, Surrender, an album that grew on you over time. So something that took me a little while to get into. Or you, in this case, whatever the case is, I should say. 4, Budokan Energy, a high energy album. It's coincidentally, I guess, or maybe not coincidentally, I don't know, but the reason I wanted to jump onto this contest was some of these prompts as well. Like Budokan was a huge album for me as a kid, but I'll get into that. She's Tight, a no-skip album. So those are the 5 prompts. And actually there's a bonus one, share a Cheap Trick memory, something that's a memory of Cheap Trick in one's life. And so I will share something. And as I alluded to, it has to do with Budokan. So the first one, I'm gonna kind of try to put a bit of a Canadiana spin on it, if you will allow. Well, even if you don't, I'm doing it. It's my video. This is a band. I don't know how underrated they are. Maybe they get the dues they deserve. Maybe they're not as good as I think they are. But certainly for me, I've always loved this band. And they only did 3 albums, and then their label kind of screwed them over. I think they actually went bankrupt or something. I don't know. I've heard other things, and then later on, they're to me, who was a phenomenal guitarist. He died. He had his roots in a lot of Canadian bands, not the least of which was Chilliwack as well. But I'm not talking about Chilliwack. I'm talking about the Headpins and their debut, Turn It Loud. This is a rockin' album. It's a really good, heavy rock album. And Darby Mills, the lead vocalist, female vocalist, she had the pipes on her to be full-fledged metal, and it's just that's right up my alley. Anybody who knows me, that's my first love is heavy metal, hard rock. So I think this is an underrated album, and I don't know how many people globally have even heard tell of it. I've seen some people show it in the vinyl community, but certainly not very much. And maybe, as I alluded to, maybe it's not as good as I think it is, but I absolutely adore this album. I love it. It's one of the first albums I ever owned. But yeah, so that's what I went with an album that I consider underrated, the Headpins, Turn It Loud. The next prompt is In Color, and there's several albums that jumped out at me on this one. And in fact, a couple in this, the ones that I pulled that could qualify as that. And also, not coincidentally, but one of the things that jumped out on me is that is a relatively new addition to my Cheap Trick collection. Is I just picked this up here probably within the last couple of months, In Color, their second album. So yeah, just in the spirit of Emma's contest here, I do have, you know, a decent collection of Cheap Trick, right? There's their first three, and then of course Budokan. I'm going to set that aside for my bonus, and then of course Dream Police, All Shook Up, and One on One. And I said I wasn't going to do any shout outs, but one that did inspire me the most probably was our buddy down the road, Gary, over at Physical Format Rock and Roll. He did this contest response, and he did his using just cheap Trick, which was just on merits alone. Gary should probably win this contest, but anyway, I'm entering. So where was I? Yeah, In Color, a visually striking record. Got to go with this one. I mean, look at that. I'll take it as a shrink, although it's still got its original shrink in my sleeve. But yeah, the debut from Tesla, you know, mechanical resonance. I mean, just, I've always thought that was visually striking. The color in that, I could have gone with Rainbow or something like that. Rainbow Rising, that is. Well, even the debut Rainbow. And then the vinyl itself is just on it's a nice pressing on blue. I don't know how well that shows up. Hopefully with some light on there, it really jumps out. I mean, hard not to on that. Just it's a very nice blue vinyl. And yeah, that's the one of the first ones that came to mind for me, among others that I already alluded to, but that's a good one for sure. Definitely visually striking. I mean, I guess that's subjective to opinions, but isn't all of this? So there we go. We went with that one. I went with that one. Number 3, Surrender, an album that grew on you over time. So I've always liked the Stones, and you know, the age-old question, Beatles or Stones. I don't get into that. I love them both. But the Stones, their entire catalog, well, they're still going. So, I mean, it's not really fair to compare it to the Beatles catalog. But where I was going with that is a lot of their latter day stuff. I mean, after Tattoo You, it's really kind of hit and miss for me. And this one in '89, when I first heard it, I remember hearing it in '89, and some friends of mine, some coworkers actually, were going down to LA to see them on that Steel Wheels tour, and it is the Steel Wheels album. I do dig it now. I actually kind of like anything Stones now. Some much more than others, but I actually really do like this album. I don't know what the common opinion is, or if there's a common opinion, but I definitely think it is a good, strong Stones record. But of course, you know, it's not any Sticky Fingers or Beggar's Banquet or anything like that. I mean, but or even Tattoo You or I mean, Emotional Rescue. I like. Some Girls. I mean, that's probably one of my favorites. But anyway, that's what I went with as far as one that's grown on me. Like over the years, I tend to like that, and maybe it's just because it's feels more classic now. 30 some odd years on. Holy cow! Really, 37 years later? That just blows my mind. So where was I? Yeah, Surrender, an album that grew on you. That was that one. Number 4, Budokan Energy, a high energy album. I almost went with, you can see it over here, the Aerosmith bootleg, that live album. But what tops that for me? I do like live albums. I know there seems to be, I watched some videos and the common, not even the common, I should stop using that, but there were those who had the opinion they're not fans of live albums. I do like them much more now than I used to. And this, to me, is one of the most high energy albums of all time, and one of my favorites of all time, if not my favorite. Of course, I'm biased, Maiden being probably my all-time favorite band, but yeah, come on. The energy of this, I still remember it. Yeah, Live After Death, that Power Slave tour, just the energy. I mean, Bruce was still relatively a new front man. I know you're thinking, well, come on, they'd already done, you know, Peace of Mind, they'd already done Number of the Beast, they'd already done Power Slave itself. That's a few albums deep, but still, they were just hitting their stride. I don't think they ever got, well, they did get bigger than this, actually. I got to backtrack. But from my point of view, as an 18-year-old kid, they were just untouchable as far as the energy when they perform live. And so I had to go with that one. Just, yeah, it is such a high energy band. And, even to this day, here we are in 2026, I'm getting stoked to see them in September. They're still a high energy band, and it's just incredible. You could say that about the Stones. You could say that about a lot of bands that are still performing live. Priest, but that's different. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so that was what I went with, high energy album. She's tight, a no skip album. So in keeping with the vein of live albums that I was saying, that I actually do dig live albums. I could have gone with this as visually stunning as well. It's always been that way to me, even though maybe in an artsy way. But Strangers in the Night, and I also chose this for another reason that probably those of you who are familiar will know right away. Since Cheap Trick Day was declared by the state of Illinois, I think most of this was captured live in Chicago, Illinois. UFO Strangers in the Night, and it is a no skip album. Like, every track on here is just so killer. I was just listening to this. I was listening to most of these in preparation for this video because I really want to kind of come at it from kind of a fresh point of view of listening to all these. I like to do that when I can, when time permits. It's not always possible, but yeah, just such a great album. I love this album, and some of the tracks on here, No Place to Run, I don't have that on vinyl yet, and it's one of my favorites. But anyway, going on too much about that, but it's the passion. I just absolutely love that. And UFO in general, I think, is one of those bands that's not talked about a lot. But anyway, let's go on to the bonus one. Share a Cheap Trick memory. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this live at Budokan. My older brother had this, and I can't even tell you how many times this played in my household. 1978, I'm 10 years old. I'm listening to this. I'm looking at this album cover. I'm a kid who doesn't want to do anything more than play drums. And Bunny Carlos, when this comes on, Need Your Love, just the whole atmosphere of this album. I've had this album and I just cherish it. I mean, it's still got the booklet with all of it, and I know Cheap Trick are still out there and performing live, and I don't even know who the drummer is now, but I know it's not Bunny, and for whatever reasons, I mean, shit happens, right? But that was one of the things that drew me to Cheap Trick, was this album right here. This was the first Cheap Trick I ever heard. And then, of course, Dream Police came out right after, and my brothers had that as well. And I think they even had one of the early ones. I don't know if it was their debut on 8-track or something, but this we had on vinyl. I mean, it's still got the original sleeve here. It was a polyline sleeve. I mean, there aren't many records I have in my collection that I just cherish like this one, and the memories associated with it. And most of those memories are intimate memories. I don't talk about a lot of stuff on here, and I'll just briefly mention my third oldest brother, Stevie, was in a pretty serious car accident a few years ago. It's actually just over 10 years ago now. So he doesn't have any recollection of anything. He's got no short-term memory. So I can see him, when I'm visiting back home, and then the next time I see him, it's like I haven't seen him, or it's like I've seen him yesterday. I mean, I don't know how it works, but it's pretty strange. And I used to listen to a lot of this stuff with him and my other older brothers. So it's intimate in that way, but it's also intimate in a way that they really captured my imagination as a kid who wanted to play drums, and specifically Bunny. So I guess I'm sharing that. I never got to see Cheap Trick live, still to this day. Maybe someday I will, but yeah, that's it. I will leave a link to Emma's channel. I'll even leave maybe a list of the prompts, but better to go over to Emma's channel. Check her out, support her, and there's some great prizes. I don't necessarily care about the prizes. I just wanted to jump on here after watching some of my buddies, like I said. And then Emma's got a great channel, and I know she's got a, just by watching her channel, um, she's very endearing. People love Emma, and there's not enough of Emma in the violin community. There's lots of us dudes, but anyway, I'll leave it at that. This was fun. Thanks for doing this, Emma. Great contest, great idea. Good luck to everybody. I hope I met the criteria, and I guess I'll leave it at that. So until next time, people, enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your week, and until I see you again here at Twanger's Turntable, take care, everybody. Cheers.